Green School Bali Virtual Open Day. My name is Kate. I'm the Head of Community and Environment at Green School, and I am super happy to be your host here today and to spend some time together. We have a program that we've put together for you today that is all about getting to know each other. So I'm going to introduce the program to you, let you know what's coming up, and also let you know how this can be a two-way exchange, two-way process of getting to know each other. I'm coming to you live from the Green School Bali campus. It's a beautiful day here, beautiful morning. It's morning for us. The sun is out, it's clean and crisp. We had a little bit of rain, so it's feeling super nice and fresh. So let me share with you what we've put together for you today. We are going to start with diving into the curriculum at Green School. I feel like this is a really great place to start to give you a broad overview and a little bit of depth on what learning looks like at Green School across all the different parts of the school, from our youngest community members in our early years program right the way through to high school. I'm going to have a friend here. I'll introduce him in a minute. He's going to help us with the curriculum session. Then we will come back together for a little mini Q&A session where myself and my friend here can help answer some of your initial questions. Then we're going to invite you to join a breakout room where you can dive more deeply into what teaching and learning and the experience looks like for children in our upper or lower school. And I'll explain a little bit more about how that works when we get to that. And then we are going to come back together for a group session on living in Bali. So I have invited a new Green School parent that's just started here, as well as our manager of admissions, to sit together and answer your questions about the transition, the move to Bali, living in Bali, settling in, and all of those beautiful and important pieces. And then we will wrap up at the end of all of that. Now, what I love about this, and I hope you're going to love as well, is that you can ask questions directly of us. So just go ahead at any stage, open up the chat and put your questions in there. If you have questions around the kind of process of applications or timing of enrollments, those sorts of things, our team will probably be able to answer them right there in the chat. They also might share some links or pieces of information along the way. So keep an eye on the chat, keep it open so you can see what's going on there. Questions will be fed to myself or to others in the breakout sessions so we can take your question and give you an answer. So I encourage everyone to do that. And if there are any children out here, any young people that are on the call with their parents or caregivers, special hello to you. And please, we would love to know your questions. No question too big or too small for us here today. So as I said, my name's Kate. I'm the Head of Community and Environment. I'm also the parent of 3 Green School now graduates. I arrived at the school, enrolled my children almost 14 years ago, long time ago. They've all graduated from Green School. The last one graduated in June 2024. So a lot of experience with the school and the best job in the world working here at the school. The good news is you don't just have me here to help and answer your questions today. I brought a friend with me. Who do I have right here beside me? No one other than our head of curriculum. This is Dan McCloy. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Kate. Thank you. Like Kate said, it's a lovely morning. We've got cicadas all around us, giving us some beautiful backdrop, as well as the grades 2 students behind us hammering away in the iHub. But those are all typical and magical sounds that we have here at Green School.
Super nice, Dan. And yes, you mentioned right behind us the iHub. That is our makerspace, our innovation hub, iHub. I'm here to help translate some of the acronyms and some of the abbreviations and things we use here at the school. But yeah, that is going on right behind us, a very hot destination on the campus for hands-on learning for all our students of all ages. So Dan, I think to kick us off today, you're going to help us understand the Green School curriculum. You're going to unpack it a little bit for us, which is really important. The process of kind of a family coming and joining us here in the community is one of really getting to know each other. So we want to share as much as we can with you openly, authentically, and as much detail as possible and manageable in this time frame. And then for us to get to know you through the enrolment process or through staying in touch with us. So we're really appreciative that you're here with us today. We hope you stay with us for the whole session to really get the most out of it. And I hope you really engage with us and ask some questions on that chat. So just a reminder to open up that chat and ask a question at any stage and we will scoop them up. So, but for now, I think we're going to hand over to you, Dan, to please take us on a walk through teaching and learning at Green School.
And already a great example. Sometimes I'm very good at helping to generate questions along the way, throw some confusion by some acronyms, but I will do my best to try and give the most clear overview I can of what learning looks like from our youngest learners at 3 years old all the way up to our oldest learners at 18. We do have a really unique and special curriculum here at Green School Bali. And again, that comes with a little bit of complexity. So please, like Kate said, if you have questions along the way, put them in the chat and I'll see if I can do my best to answer them. But who we are at Green School Bali, at our core of everything we do, not only just in our curriculum, but who we are as people and how we interact, is we are people here and we're a community of learners all together making the world sustainable. That really encompasses all of our action, all the curriculum and materials we teach in class. You feel that mission when you're here, you understand that mission when you're in the classrooms, and that is truly at the core of what we do here at Green School Bali. In terms of a structured curriculum that you would see in other places around the school, this is what the Green School Bali's version looks like. So this is actually called our Green Literacies Framework. And it's a snapshot. You're not supposed to be able to see all the words on here, but it gives you an overview of our bespoke curriculum, which has things on there that you might recognize, such as chemistry, physics, reading and writing, but also has some things truly unique to us. Things like sustainable development, climate change, ethics, and these are all things that we truly value as important in our students' learning process and something that we hope to develop from our youngest years all the way up to our oldest years. So although we do have alignment with aspects of curriculum from across the world or anywhere you may be coming from, we also look to bridge and go beyond and create opportunities that truly align with who we are as a school and what our mission is. Now, that's a bit of what we learn, but it's how we learn that makes us truly unique. And there are two things I want to talk about. One is experiential learning, some of us might be familiar with, and that is literally having students learn through experiences. So having them activate physically in the real world and to be able to use their senses to help retain and help build that knowledge. So whether it's touch, feel, shape, smell, really getting them outdoors beyond the classroom to help them understand that learning is a lived and physical process as well as it is just content. And secondly, we're talking about regenerative design. So we're in a space right now where we're looking to not only sustain what we are in the world, but opportunities to regenerate. So a lot of our courses now are embedded in those 4 words, those 4 S words you see at the bottom. So more than anything, when we talk about regenerative design, what we're doing is asking our students to sense, seek, shape, and storytell. So whatever activity they're embarking on, whatever experience they're going through, we ask them to sense, which is think of alternative perspectives, and that can be human and also non-human. Seeking, for them to ask further questions that they might come up with. Shaping, finding solutions to some of the problems or some of the questions that they may have, and then being able to communicate effectively about their journey or about their ideas they have. So this regenerative design process is more of a teaching philosophy that we ask students to go through to ensure that they're truly experiencing what we want them to be critically thinking about as learners, just as much as anything else. And I want to give you an example of what experiential learning looks like, and that's our Jalan Jalan program. So this is a program that is dedicated for students to choose an experience for them to do on a weekly basis that is project-based, community service-based, entrepreneurial-based, or outdoor. So what these students get to do is elect into or choose one class where they're completely out of the classroom, and the whole purpose of this is for them to experience something really unique and something that they're passionate about within their school week. And the best way to explain or show you some examples are to provide these examples and some pictures. So this Jalan Jalan program has anything from sailing to coding to wood carving to adventures to bicycling to surfing. And this is something that happens as early as grade 1 and 2 and then builds its capacity all the way up into high school. And I'll talk a little bit about how many hours of allocation this is, depending on where your student is in the school. But here are some of the awesome things that students get to embark on and do each and every week as part of their schooling here at Green School Bali. Along with this is our expectations of how we assess and students go about demonstrating their learning, which again is a lot of project-based. A lot of how we expect students to demonstrate their progress is through these projects. And these can be really summarized in watching our capstone projects that end the year in grade 5, grade 8, and grade 12. And these projects are student-led. They embark on their own ideas for anywhere between 4 months to a year. And they present their projects in a capstone TED-style presentation at the end of the school year. And what you see at the end of these projects is something extremely incredible and unique to Green School. And it shows that students, no matter if they're in grade 5 or all the way up to grade 12, can come up with some fantastic ideas themselves that they can see from start to finish. Along with these amazing concepts, we still have a strong visual arts, music, and physical well-being program. Students put on productions each year across the school. We have bands that exist from primary all the way up to high school. And we have a physical well-being or physical education program that has a sports league on Bali. So if your student is interested in sports, our students go out to other schools, or we host schools here at Green School in sports throughout the year. And these sports are anything from football to volleyball to basketball, athletics, swimming, and cross country. So a little bit of something for everyone. Our social emotional learning program is something that's been at Green School since the very beginning and has continued to develop based on societal needs and student needs. So from the age of 3, students embark on a journey of understanding themselves, regulation, relationships with their peers, and these are all embedded into our I Respect values. So that's really the root of our social emotional program. And we really try to, whether it's through mindfulness, through conversations, through activities, have students build a better understanding of who they are as a person, their relationship with others, themselves, and with the world around them. And I know we're online today, and I mentioned this at the beginning, but who we are at Green School can really only be experienced to its fullest extent when you're here on campus. Because our teachers, our community, and our commitment to our values, culture, is something that just is overwhelming when you're here on campus. It's so hard to explain, but we as a school do the best job at living out what I've just talked to you about in terms of who we are, our mission, our community. So it's something truly important for us, for you to understand that this place is really special and unique, and the aura that is felt is incredible when you step onto this campus. Now, a little bit more specific to how that looks in terms of a learning program. So I know we have parents who might have younger students or older students. So what does like the timetable or daily interaction look like for these students? In high school, we've got 4 hours each of math and literacy-based classes. And again, I talked about regenerative design or thematic learning, and these are classes that have a priority focus on math or literacy, but nothing we do here lives in a silo by itself. So these are classes that have a deeper focus in math and literacy, but include aspects of science, entrepreneurship, Bahasa Indonesia. These are all concepts that are embedded into this math or literacy program. They also have 12 hours of a combination of science, arts, Bahasa Indonesia, or social studies, 2 hours of well-being and advisory, so that's pathways or that social emotional program, and 4 hours of Jalan Jalan. Now this differs a little bit in the primary school and middle school. If we don't have the slide right now, that's fine. But you can imagine the Jalan Jalan program is slightly reduced in those classes. So you only have about 2 hours of that Jalan Jalan program in primary school, as well as you have a few less elective classes. So when you're in primary school, you have the choice as a student to choose your Jalan Jalan. As you move into the middle school, that amount of choice expands. So you begin to be able to choose your arts and your social studies classes. And then once you get into high school, you begin choosing basically 100% of your classes. So they are based around needing to fulfill credit in math-based or literacy-based classes, but students get to choose electively in high school almost 100% of your classes. And again, I've given you a brief overview of this across the school, but the best way for you to truly see what this looks like in action is for you to see a couple videos from across the school. So we have both a grade 4 thematic regenerative design based video for you and a high school Jalan Jalan. And that gives you firsthand from the teacher and students what that program is like and gives you a little bit more insight to what that might look for your student in 2 different aspects across the school. So I hope you enjoy those videos. Please put any questions you have into the chat, and me and Kate will come back and see and do our best to answer any of those questions that you had. So thank you for now, and here are the videos.
A Green School thematic class is a holistic approach to student-centered, project-based learning. And it includes connections to our proficiencies as well as all of our specialist classes. That includes personal well-being, music, art, and our very own Green Studies class.
We were all super proud and happy when we saw our kids walking down the pebble path because we were like just squealing with excitement, really.
We're preparing lessons to teach a group of grade 1 students, and we have to set up like learning assessment.
The project that I've been working on is doing math with grade 1s.
We're teaching the grade 1s to how to make a fire. Because making a fire
you could use
is
if you're
good.
lost in the woods is good. If you're lost in the woods for warmth, cooking food if you're lost.
I have been working on origami for teaching the grade 1 students. Because origami is really special to me because I used to make it since I was really small.
One thing that made us proud is even if we got challenged, we just pushed, and in the end, the result was just amazing. I would like to do more projects like this, passing on my passion and inspiring other kids to do great things.
Student takeaways from this thematic unit include an understanding that their ideas and perspectives matter. They'll also have a deeper connection with their community members and an increased sense of confidence to share their learning in larger forums as future change makers.
This coral restoration class is part of the Jalan Jalan program, but it backs up against a high school science class. We study in the classroom on Mondays and Fridays, and then on Wednesday we come here and do our field work. So today we're here in the marvelous Padang Bai, and we're going to do coral species catalogue, which means we're going to go and catalogue all the different species of corals that we see. We're going to take photos and then identify them later, and sort of zoom out one so we see where they are in relation to each other. Instead of being in a bubble outside of the real world, we actually want to get involved in the real world. Hopefully we are actually helping the Living Seas project to do the coral restoration that is so desperately needed right now in Padang Bai.
It's a very fun experience, and it's can be a bit tiring too. The ocean plays a super crucial role in the survival of all species on land, not just the ones in the water. Also through raising awareness so that people stop destroying it, the ocean and the coral reefs will have a chance to survive into a better world.
Welcome back. Kate had a few questions for me that she got from the chat, and we had a quick look through them. I don't know, Kate, if you want to try and pick some of those apart. I hogged what the questions were, so I'm happy to kind of summarize and see general themes I saw from there and have a go at answering a few of them together, and then you pick apart some more along the way.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yep. Thank you so much, Dan. I hope you found that session useful. Dan, I always do. I always learn a little bit more when I sit and hear you talk about the program in all its glory and start to unpack it a little bit for us. But we've got some great questions from you. Please keep them coming. If you have other questions, put them in the chat. We'll scoop them up and do our best to answer them. So I'm going to dive in here. They've been sent to me here. So let's get started. First, let's have some exploration of our early years program. So we've had a few questions here around farming or gardening, and actually this is something that's bigger than the early years experience, but we know that productive gardens are everywhere on our campus. So we're all learning where our food has come from, and our students are involved in seed to table programs, gardening programs, all kinds of things to do with food and the production of food. Can I add a little bit?
Yeah, the only thing really to add is that we have a specific green studies program that exists from early years all the way up into middle school. And this is a specialist class where we have professionals who come and join the classroom itself, bring them out into the gardens, sometimes into the classroom or different places around campus to truly explore, build their connection with nature, but also understand concepts of food production, food waste. And again, it's something that is hard to avoid, as Kate said, around here. It is all around us. There's gardens in every corner of the school. So it's really a really cool opportunity for students from 3 years old to begin understanding and appreciating where food comes from, but how to grow food and how to collect seeds. And again, early years is a good one. This is my oldest son's second year at Green School, so he's still in the early years program. So I get to see firsthand how that love of nature and interest in the world around him is built through programs like the Green Studies program that we have here at Green School.
Yeah, that's super nice. And in fact, Dan, just out behind us here, one of my favorite memories from a couple of years ago, our grade 12 students joined our geckos class, which are our youngest community members, to plant a fruit forest together. So that's right near where we're sitting right now as a kind of joint collaboration. So our kind of 18-year-olds with our 3-year-olds is really cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stick with early years a little bit more. Can you add, I know you shared a little bit about what the daily schedule or the weekly schedule might look like in different parts of the school, but do you want to add anything more about early years in terms of what their schedule or routine looks like on a daily basis? We know routine's important for the new ones.
Yeah. So early years, you can imagine, would start and end the day with morning circles, and they're lucky enough. I'm going to run through my son's program, which I have memorized in my head. So Monday is a big green studies day, and then they have their Bahasa Indonesia lesson. And I think the main language of instruction is English, but students learn Bahasa Indonesia throughout the week. So they have both Bahasa Indonesia and Budaya, which is kind of like Bahasa Indonesia in action, I would say. Then Tuesday, they would have physical well-being and music class. Today is library and cooking. Tomorrow they work in the innovation hub, so kind of in our maker space. And then Friday is their Budaya and class or early years assembly sing-along. Then throughout that, they have thematics units that change throughout the year with different focuses. But they're all rooted in nature, environment, connectedness to both themselves and nature. But that's generally how their week looks like in terms of specialist classes versus core classroom teaching and learning that comes from their teachers.
Yeah, lovely, Dan. And actually, I don't know if any of you have ever visited the campus, if you can, come to Valley and visit us. We would absolutely love that. We would love to meet you, love to see you. And there is nothing like really seeing the campus in real life to get the effect. I know there's some other questions in here about how we integrate nature into students' daily lives and so on. So it's not just about explicitly what we're teaching, but it's also just the experience of being on the campus and down to how we manage our waste and what we eat here on the school and the spaces we learn in and move around in. So, you know, there's wild spaces, there's spaces of great, rich biodiversity, there are productive gardens, there are spaces that are more designed specifically for sport, and of course the learning buildings, the classrooms as we call them, which are all along the same lines of the one we're sitting in right now, in that they are all wallness. So the connection with nature is from the start of the day to the end of the day. There's kind of no avoiding it in a lot of senses.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So all the senses alive with nature here. As you said, we've got the cricket sort of, what do you call
Cicada.
it?
Cicada.
Cicada.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Australia.
Cicada,
Canada.
cicada, those beautiful bugs. So Dan, you mentioned the language of instruction in early years, which is English first.
Yeah.
And then we do teach Bahasa Indonesia, and that is the case right through the school. I think students, once they're in high school, they can also choose other languages from our language lab program, but it's English first, and then Bahasa Indonesia is the language we all get to learn and we all get to practice because we're right here in Indonesia. Okay, so moving forward a little bit. So Javier asked some questions about integrating nature into students' daily lives. I think we've touched on that a little bit. I will say too, though, that in terms of mindfulness, social emotional learning, yoga practices, these are things that are throughout the school as well. Do you want to just touch on that a little bit? Maybe the social emotional learning side of things?
Yeah, I had a brief overview in terms of my presentation, but yoga is now something we have a yoga instructor in early years and in primary. So each class has a touch point with a professional yoga instructor who is also a teacher here at Green School once a week, which is amazing. And again, that's just an opportunity for students to engage with an activity that we feel really connects them to themselves, but also to them around them, to those around them. And then into middle school, from primary into middle school, we have a specific mindfulness program, which is incredible to see. As students are here for consecutive years, it's amazing to see grade 8 students who are able to embark on their own mindfulness practice. So it doesn't always need to be meditation. It can be something like light doodle or drawing, anything that really holds them and allows them to be with themselves for a few minutes. But to have grade 8 students who are 14 years old sitting around their friends in silence for 15 minutes, doing something that they're enjoying, but also understanding that they're with themselves in that space is something truly unique to find, especially now.
It's really beautiful and something that really serves them for life.
Correct.
Forward. So, yeah. Okay, so great. We have a great question here from Gutam. Since the curriculum is unique, Dan, does Green School train its teachers specifically, and how does it make sure the school's core values are consistently applied? What a great question.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Hiring and onboarding is arguably the most important thing we do. So yes, we have our actual own Green Educator program that's open to the public. So you can begin to embark on online courses that give you some insights to how we plan, how we prepare, and our general philosophy of pedagogy. But we also take a considerable amount of time, almost 2 weeks, to onboard our new teachers before the school year and before returning teachers come back. So this is a vital part of what we do as a school because we are unique, not so totally different that it's completely abstract, but to ensure that teachers are teaching towards our real values so that they understand relationships, experiential learning, authentic learning, and learning local to global is something at our core as well. It does take time. It takes practice, it takes consideration, it takes mentoring. So yeah, fantastic question, but
Yeah.
it's something that over the years we've definitely considered and allocated time to ensure that our teachers are ready for the experience and that are ready for our students coming in as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the other side of that is that we learn from our new educators that join us as well. So it is a beautiful kind of cycle of things, but we know that it takes some effort, some love and care to onboard teachers, make sure they are ready to roll every year, and then ongoing professional development. And in fact, Dan, not only do we support and develop our own teachers, but we have programs that we share with teachers from around the world. So actually we have a whole other side of Green School Bali, which is called Green Educators. And maybe the team will put a link there in the chat, and you can go and check out the professional development programs that we offer outside of the school as well. So that's how into professional development we are here for our educators at Green School Bali. Great question. And next question, Dan, let's take a couple more before we go to the breakout sessions. If high school students can fully choose their classes, how does the school ensure balance? For example, preventing a student from taking only sciences, only social studies, or skipping languages altogether. I think this is where our advisors come in and all the beautiful support systems that sit around a student as they develop out their own kind of mosaic pathway all the way through to graduation.
Yeah, correct. So students do need to hit a certain amount of credit in specific categories to obtain a Green School diploma. So if you had 40 science credits and 1 math credit, that might not qualify you for a Green School diploma. With that said, Pac Benjamin, who I believe if you have a high school student, will jump into further, there are so many pathways that students can take, whether they're interested in looking for tertiary pathways that go to university in the States or in Europe or in Asia, versus starting their own entrepreneurial business or finding a pathway in artistry. These are all options that students have in high school, but again, there is a limitation, and there are advisors and pathway counselors to help students ensure that they are on the right trajectory to earn credits across or through a diverse amount of areas to ensure that they get the Green School diploma.
Yeah, that's great. Nobody slips through the cracks.
Yeah.
Lots of support there, and lots of I guess encouragement for students to try new things too. Don't just take, the path that you think might be the easiest for you or in your comfort zone, or just these are the things I like, or these are classes my friends are taking, but really to explore, learn about themselves as a learner and as a human, and really dive into the breadth of offerings that are there. Okay, let's go to another one. So Antonella from Chile, thank you for your question about the examination system or the accreditation system that they have there, which helps students then move from their secondary school to university education. What is the equivalent validation system at Green School? So I think this is around our international school accreditation.
Yeah, correct.
Which he is the expert on, actually.
Yes. So we are internationally accredited by WASC. Which allows our students to graduate with a US-based diploma. So although we do things differently and our courses may look different, we are accredited internationally and students will receive a US diploma. Pac Benjamin's actually been working really hard with the universities, not only from America, but other parts of the world, to give students opportunity to earn university credits. So I know we offer about 5 courses currently that students can earn credit in high school for Syracuse University, which are transferable. So students can actually start building a university credit diploma before leaving Green School. But in terms of our international accreditation, it is WASC and students graduate with a US diploma. But again, I don't go into too much depth because Pac Benjamin is the one who I would say is the actual expert in terms of our student pathways. I just can help out with the accreditation bodies and what our students are graduating with.
Yeah, that's really good. And in fact, you can dive into that more if you go to the upper school breakout session, which we're going to go to soon. But I'm just going to clarify, WASC is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. I am here to do the translation for you, friends. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about our accreditation system. And by the way, our graduates over the past 10 years or so, since we've had a high school program, have gone to, I think it's something like 25 or 30 different universities, maybe more than that actually, definitely in every continent all around the world. So our kids are kind of moving out. We have a very diverse community here in the school, almost 50 different nationalities. So our students that graduate go out to, all kinds of destinations around the world, most to university. Some start their own business. It's a beautiful, beautiful story there. Maybe we'll put a link in the chat there to our alumni page so you can check out a little bit more information on that. All right. For families who can't visit in person, Dan, what do we think might be some signs parents should look for in their child or the school to know if Green School is the right fit? What a great question.
Yeah, that is.
It's a good question. And it really starts in a lot of ways, I think, with the enrollment process. So being in touch with our admissions team and sharing who you are, where you're from, what you're interested in, what your aspirations are for your child, and getting to know the school as much as possible. The best fit family are the family that have kind of done their homework and really gotten to know what we're all about. So just by being here on the virtual open day today with us is a great start. And then read, watch, ask questions, find out as much as you can. If you can come and visit, we love that as well. And that's how we find the best fit. Sometimes Green School can be quite a different experience for students, depending what school they've come from, and that can take some adjustment, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a great fit for them.
Yeah, correct. And I don't think there's a perfect recipe for that. But again, I definitely say not every single learner Green School would be the 100% perfect fit for. I can speak a little bit from personal experience teaching throughout the school, but also having an early years student here. So like my early years student loves mess, loves chaos, loves digging, mud, not wearing shoes. And this was a place that allowed him to express that freely. But I also have seen students in his class that come from a more traditional background who thrived in the exact same environment. So I think as long as your student has a curiosity, as long as they're someone who likes asking questions, doing things independently, feels a strong sense of fulfillment when they're encouraged to follow unique paths or paths of their own thinking, or encouraged to continue asking questions, I think those are the students who truly thrive here. The ones who feel empowered to follow their own unique paths. So we're not a school that necessarily directs students around or forces students to learn in specific ways, but that also comes on the other end where we ask students to be more independent or ask more questions or follow and be leaders of their own destiny, I suppose, in a way. So I don't know if that fully answers the question, and I guess you never fully know until you're here, but you need to like being outside. I know that for sure. Someone who I guess knows or is willing to discover a little bit more about themselves and have people really backing their questions, understanding their own personal journeys, and really encouraging them to follow the directions that they find interesting.
Yeah, and I guess it's not lost on us that it is a big decision for many families. You know, most of our families have moved to Bali to come to the school. So we know that this is a big question and potentially a very big decision for a family to make, whether Green School is right for them. And I think really for the parents, you know, is this the kind of education that you want for your child? Can you put that faith in us as a school? You know, we will rise to that, and that's really kind of where it's at. But it's about getting to know each other. That's the most important thing, I feel. Yeah. Trusting the team, trusting the process a little bit. It can take some time. Yeah, to settle in. You know, I took some family on a tour once, and at the end of the tour, I said to the young child, he was quite little, maybe 5, and I said, what did you think about your visit to Green School? And he said, I liked it, but where is the school? And I thought that was so telling, because we just visited the school, but it didn't look, feel, or seem like what he understood school to be. So, yeah. All right, friends, I think thank you for the questions. We've got some more here. I love them. This is a great group, Dan. They've got some great questions for us. I'm really enjoying this. But now it's time to go to the breakout rooms. So we're going to set that up for you right now, and you can choose the room that you would like to go to. So remembering we've got upper school, so that is middle school and high school. So sort of from around 12-year-old, so it's grade 6 up to grade 12. And then we've got lower school, which is early years, which starts at around 3 years old, up to grade 5, so 11, 12 years old. So they are your two options. You can, I believe, move between rooms once you are in there. So if you've got children of different ages, you can bounce around a little bit if you would like to. Same system once you get there. You'll meet your host, and who is our resident expert, and you will be able to ask questions in that group. Then I will be right here to welcome you back and also have a little conversation about living in Bali with two other friends that I am inviting to the Bamboo Settee here. So we're going to go to the breakout rooms now. Dan, thank you so much. We know you are a busy person. Thank you for giving us some time today.
No, thank you. And thank you for all your questions. I hope to see you around someday.
Yeah. Come meet him in person. Yeah, it's really friendly. Okay. All right. We're going to go to the breakout rooms now, and I will see you back on the other side of that. Hi, and welcome back, everyone. How were the breakout rooms? Did you get some questions up there? Did you get some answers to your questions? I hope it was really useful for you as you had the opportunity to dive a little more deeply into upper school and lower school, the teaching and learning and what the experience is for the children in those different parts of the school. Hope it was handy. And I know this next part will be handy for you as well, because we are here to talk a little bit about living in Bali. So for most of our community that join Green School Bali, they have moved from somewhere else in the world to join our community here. And that is a big deal. So we're here to offer some insights and some support and share some stories of what that experience actually is from a parent themselves. So I'm very excited to introduce my friends here on the Bamboo Settee who are joining us for this next section. So we have right here beside me Magnus, a brand new in-school parent, just arrived in August. So we're at week 4, I think. And also we have Christina over here, who is our manager of admissions. So this is somebody you can get to know and love if you want to continue that conversation about joining Green School Bali. So for this next part, friends, please, you know the deal, open up the chat and pop your questions in there, and the team will feed those to me and I can share them with my friends here, and we can get you some insights, advice, recommendations, and everything we have to share with you today. So let me warm it up a little bit. We've been having a chat behind the scenes while you're in the breakout rooms, and Magnus has a lot to share, and this is wonderful because you are so new here, Magnus, and so that whole experience of getting to know Green School, choosing Green School, arriving here, settling in, and being 4 weeks in is super fresh. So can we start with you? Can you share a little bit about who are you? Who's in your family and why Green School?
So I'm here with my wife and our 2 boys, Sirius and Wester, and we're from Denmark. And yeah, we just arrived 4 weeks ago and just about to settle in, found a nice home and get into the routines because everything is different here.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Not wrong. We're not in Kansas anymore. In the words, to quote the Wizard of
Or
Oz.
in the cold Denmark.
Yeah, in the cold Denmark.
No.
Yeah, that is quite the change climatically as well as everything else.
Yes.
Yeah. So how is the family doing? How's everyone going?
Really, really, really well. It's nice to have so much time together, and it's nice to just do I call it hamster wheel in our family, when like you do the same things and like the routines every day, and everything is just different, and that's for the best of us right now, that we get to spend so much time together, and and learning this new way of living, because it's really different from the north. I see a lot of families coming from places all over the world where it's not like living in the jungle is not new for them, because Green School is new to us, but also living in the jungle and these new animals and new sounds and new way of doing things is also new for us. And our boys have to learn English. They didn't speak English 4 weeks ago, and the oldest one is already speaking fluent English, I would say. And it's amazing how much can happen with these small human beings.
You are not wrong. It never ceases to blow my mind, that rapid acceleration
Yeah.
of language skills for our younger community members when they are immersed. So for us, it's really about making sure, despite the language difference, that they feel like they are part of this place,
Yeah.
that this is their place. They feel safe, secure, that we have some nice routines, particularly for the younger ones,
Yeah.
so they can really feel settled and connected. And then the learning can kind of go and grow from there. So that's really wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
So that must have been a big decision to choose Green School with
It
all those
was.
different factors.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
But there was no doubt from the beginning. The decision of going to Green School was the easy decision. It was all the noise around it. Getting here, that was decision to like leave the house or whatever school we were in before to go to this one. It was not the decision to actually, because choosing Green School is the easy decision. It was getting here and like that was like the
Yeah.
complicated for us.
The logistics.
Logistics.
The
exactly.
logistics are quite something.
Yes.
You're right there. Well done. We appreciate you and everyone that has joined us for this school year and that joins us every school year. And actually, someone asked a question earlier about how long do families stay at Green School and so on. The answer is many families stayed longer than they originally planned. I myself was coming for a 1-year experience and stayed for 14 years. So that's probably a rather extreme version of it. But a lot of people do stay longer than they planned, but some are here all the way through the graduation, and definitely our Balinese families that are an important central part of our community that hold stability and hold heart here at Green School go all the way through to graduation. But we have other families that might come for a 1-year experience, and 1 year is the minimum enrollment, except perhaps in early years if we have space, a semester-long enrollment is a possibility. Sorry, I'm glancing over this way because I'm looking at my friend Christina, sitting beside me here.
Lots of nodding.
Christina, I might just ask you to share, if you have some top tips for families right now, if they're thinking about Green School from an enrollment process perspective. And while you do that, I'm going to check in on our questions.
Absolutely. So I'm so glad that Magnus is actually joining us, because I just shared with Kate before we started. This is a great example because it's my 3rd year now as head of admissions here at Green School, and Magnus and his wife Stina were my very first parent call, and it was very interesting because I was head of admissions before in a previous school, but I've never met a family that had plans so far ahead, which was really exciting. And I think that gave me just a glimpse of how big these decisions are for families, and as Magnus was saying, the planning that is involved. So it was 2.5 years in the making, I think, for you.
Yeah.
And so I think we do have families who take 2-3 years. I saw one even commented today in the chat, they came to Green School before they had children, and now they have a 2.5-year-old. I think you're on the call. So I think that's really common, actually, that there's families who come and visit us, hear about us when they don't even have children yet, and they plant a seed and they're planning to come. Now, if you're looking for the August intake next year, this is actually a good time. It still gives you about a year's time to plan. So not all of our families have to plan 2-3 years or 10 years ahead. But this is, as Kate said, this is a good start. Find out as much as you can. Look at our videos, look at our, we have lots of stuff on our website. And then I will share some links later on as well, how you can connect with us further via email. You can book a call with myself, like Magnus and Stina did. And then that kind of brings in the process into rolling. We can walk you through the application process itself as well. But I think that's really how we get started, start the conversation, and then we go from there. And whether it's, we have actually still intake for this January, still a couple of places left. So some families are still ready to make the move within the next 6 months, or for the August 26 intake, we're open.
Super great. Thank you, Christina. She is the person on the end of most of our admissions inquiries, along with Pancha and Adi. They round out our admissions team, and they are here to help. Let's dive into a question because I can see a couple coming in here really about living in Bali and the experience of some of those logistical points that Magnus, you were raising. So let's start with housing. Finding a house and where to live is a big question and obviously a big deal for a family. We want to feel settled. We want to feel comfortable. We want to know where we are in relation to the school. We generally advise families like, take some time on that. Don't necessarily lock into anything before you get here. Find some temporary accommodation and then spend some time to look around. And we find Green School families tend to settle in certain pockets right around the school, towards Ubud, and then down south more towards the beach, the kind of main areas families live in. But what was that experience of finding housing? And are you close to the school, or how did you make that choice?
Well, it was complicated because we took your advice of not really choosing anything from the beginning and finding something just to have a place to arrive and have a place where a visa could be registered to. But figuring out what was important for us, we had to like flip everything upside down and figure out what type of lifestyle do we want here. And we have relative small kids, so we thought that we wanted to be close to school, but we also wanted the experience of being by the water. So we actually started by booking a villa by the water, and we had that for a month. But then we ended up getting another house by the school for just a week, and then another villa by the school. So we actually, the first month we had 3 homes, and we were like, oh my God, we're wasting money and everything. But what really worked for us was that we got to try 3 different things.
Right.
2 different sizes of houses and the transportation, because the transportation out to the water is really far, and especially when you have small kids.
Yeah.
So it was just what I think is important when you choose where to live is what type of lifestyle do you want when you're here. And we just wanted to be, we here for the school. So we wanted to be close to school and all the stuff we want as parents. We want to figure that around the kids. And that's why I think we ended up choosing to living like 10 minutes of walking from school. But I do understand why the school says figure out when you get here, because everything is developing. And just like within the month we've been here now, so much new stuff is happening. There's new houses and new opportunities, and traffic changes all the time. And do you like scootering? Do you like car? It's all decisions that's really hard to advise people. It really comes down to where do you live in the world? Like, for example, we're from Denmark. We're not used to driving scooters with kids. And it's all these decisions of what do you want your lifestyle to be, and then make a decision of the house. And that's why I think it's important to be here, to be able to figure out what you want in terms of living.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely, yeah.
And how about the houses themselves? Like, it's probably quite different.
It's very different.
Yeah?
We had to get used to, we thought it was, we didn't have a tall order we wanted to be able to close off to the pool. So you didn't have to go outside to the pool area to go into our bedroom because our kids come in at night.
Common. Yes. Yeah.
And that turned out to be, just they built houses differently here in Bali, especially the villas. So finding a house where we could like have everything closed in was important for us.
Yeah.
And also having a kitchen that was inside, because most of the houses do have like a half-ish open kitchen outside. And that, I see some families coming from certain places of the world, these things are important. I also see people coming from places where the kids are used to pools and the nature. So it's really down to what's normal for you guys and what's important for you guys, and then see it, because it's just not the pictures, and it's not just like the Instagram view of where you want to live. It's more the lifestyle you want to live. At least that's what's important for us.
I think that's great. I mean, such interesting insights. It kind of takes me back. I mean, I've moved several times here since I first arrived with no children. Now I have no children at home. They've all left home. So I moved again, you know, to suit me, you know, to suit as the family evolved and changed over the years. got older, we looked for different things. And so we actually have had quite a few moves over the past 14 years. I think living closer to the school is something that has become more popular. And there is a question in there about traffic in Bali. So you may have heard, like, traffic can be quite bad in Bali, can be quite difficult to get around.
Yes.
And this kind of goes to, like, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be going on the weekend? It
Yeah.
sounds like you're fairly contained in terms of, like, knowing you can get to the things you want to do with your children relatively easily.
Yeah, but I actually have a note to that because you cannot research your way into traffic because everything changes so fast here. And it also depends where you want to go, because if you want to go from here to Ubud, it takes really long, but maybe it's just south of Ubud on the left. And it's all different, and you cannot research it because everything changes by the minute here. So it's just like you got to experience the traffic because, I mean, we're ending up getting a car now because we don't think, we don't mind the traffic some places.
Yeah.
And we don't like to be the ones who are like on a scooter. So it really comes down to what are you okay with,
Yeah.
like in terms of traveling from your home to school.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, it's so good to get these like fresh insights, isn't it, Christina? Because I think once we've been here for a while, we kind of forget all of that you're kind of navigating, and it is a huge amount. I think the traffic and the transport, finding places to live, also where to get things you might need, you know, just for your household, like where's the best place for fresh produce? Where can I get this, that, whatever. One thing I noticed, Magnus, you can tell me otherwise, there's sort of the great hive that is the Green School parent community that are there to help as things change, as you said.
That's amazing.
When you have a question, if you ask the community, I think you receive a lot of fresh information. So where to get something, what to recommend, what do I do with my kids on the weekend? Have you been here? Have you tried that?
If you need anything, there's so many great parents around you just to figure that out. And again, we were worried about, I relocated before in my life, and like I'm always excited to see, was it like living here? Was it like living here? But relocating here and like hearing from other parents these advices, like whatever you need. If you need some after school activities, just you want this type of products, you want this, you need a doctor, you need this, I need a rental car. You always have not just one answer, you have 10 answers, and you just like, you find people that you trust, and everybody's happy to share their recommendations. And like for us, it's just turned these WhatsApp groups up that you can only be a part of when you're here, but it's just whatever you need, you pop in the question, and within seconds, you have the answer to that. If it's housing, if food, whatever it is. And that's been so helpful, and everybody's so nice in there, and it really gets you the inside of living in Bali, and you get like enrolled in the community way easier and like super fast. And that was really nice.
It's so interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a question asked in one of those groups that hasn't been answered. And honestly, it can be everything from where can I get this kind of light bulb to where is the best place for pizza by the beach.
I saw somebody ask for a fire pit yesterday, and people were like, you can only get that in America. And like 10 seconds later, there was a fire pit guy in there, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, and someone's sharing a contact of someone that's literally called the fire pit guy.
Yeah,
I know. It's wild. It's wild. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that's reassuring once families arrive that they can be tapped into that and can get that support, because you, Magnus, like, you know, 100 other families or however many joined us this year, you know, are all going through this process. And there are a lot of people that have been here for a long time here that are here to support. And now you've only been here 4 weeks and you're already giving back with your insights and wisdom. So it's just a continuous loop, actually, of sharing and support, giving and receiving. Big part of the experience, and part of what we promise is to experience community when you're here, to experience that feeling of being part of a connected community and being able to receive and contribute to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like one big in capital is like when you're here, and you don't need to worry. Like you don't need to worry about, because you got here and you'll solve the housing. If you need a scooter, a car, or whatever. Maybe you have 2 houses and maybe you have 3 houses in the beginning, but you will solve it
You
because
stop
you
it.
got
Everyone
here.
does. You got here.
And that's the most important thing, at least for our family, was getting here. And then like everything just like kind of solves itself.
Yeah, lovely. Isn't that nice, Christine? No, you will love it.
Yeah.
Loving this conversation. That brings me to Greg's question. Greg from Australia. Hello, I'm from Australia too. Greg has a question about visas here. What are the requirements for visas for Australians specifically? That's not so much an issue, but I think just quickly for all our enrolled students, they get a student visa, which allows them to stay. It's a long-term visa, lasts for a year for their enrollment, and then it can be renewed. And for parents, there are different visa options, so it depends a little bit on your situation. So let's ask Magnus, like, how was your experience with sorting out visas, not for your children, because that's pretty straightforward, but
That's pretty straightforward, yeah.
but from a parent perspective.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I would just follow the visa people that Green School recommended, and they're so nice, and they give you the different type of options. And I'm really I just pop like everything, all the options from that the visa people send us in a nice email, and we're like, do you need to work here? Do you need to just be there? Where are you from? I just typed all those information and put them into ChatGPT, and then I said, we're just going to be chilling while our kids in school. And ChatGPT told us that it was the best option that these guys. So it's just kind of like highlighted that the recommendation we got from the visa guys was just the right option for us. And then it's just like you give them the information and then you get a visa in the mail.
Yeah.
Or like email.
Yeah. Not the actual mail.
No.
We don't do that anymore.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Yeah, so rest assured, Greg, that's something everybody goes through the process, and we have a team here, a service provider that can help parents with their own visa options, or you can work with your own agent, but we've been doing it forever. So we all manage that process as well. I have a question here about pets, bringing a pet to Bali, but I want to ask you, Magnus, and I'll ask you too, Christina, have you adopted a dog yet? I feel like it's only ever a matter of time.
If I'm adopted, I didn't adopt anything. But in our community, we have a cat. Somebody brought a cat here.
There we go. It started.
So do you want me? Do you want to answer to bringing a pet here? Because I actually did a lot of research of it.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so again, the guy has got it on lock for you. But yes, I think you can bring pets to Bali. But of course, there are a lot of animals here in Bali already, some of whom need a home. So a lot of families who don't arrive with their own pet or bring their own pet do end up adopting a dog or 2 or 3.
Yes.
But tell us your
There's a lot of
advice.
pets here.
Yep.
And we are really hard trying not to adopt a pet.
Good luck.
It's really hard not to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as not official person, I don't think you can bring a pet to Bali, but there's
Officially,
definitely ways to get your animal here if it's worth it. I don't know, because your animal has to go through a lot of traveling to get here, and you pay not a lot of money, but a certain amount of money to get it here. But for like somebody loving a pet, it's definitely a commitment for you. And is it for the dog's sake, or is it for you's sake you bring your animal here? Because it is a lot of traveling, and it's a lot for the pet. And also when you are here, it's probably different from where the pet used to live, because there's all these street animals and so just think about, is it for you or is it for the pet, and what type of life will the pet live here, and take those things in consideration, because everything is possible. Just make the decision of know why you're doing it. At least
Thought-provoking.
yeah. We had to
Like
go through it, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Christina? Have you got pets here?
Yeah, so we went through that process when we moved here from Singapore 3 years ago, and we had a lovely puppy that lived with us in Singapore, and we decided actually not to bring him because exactly for that reason. We were
Yeah.
worried about, he was still young, he was under 2 years, and we were worried about the process that he would go through. It was also still tail end of COVID, so everything was taking longer. So we weren't sure how long it would take him for him to get here. So we chose a beautiful family, and he's still happy with them, and they're long-termers in Singapore, so they will never leave, and they're very happy with him, and he's very happy with them. And then we arrived here, and it took me, I think, about 3 weeks to get another puppy here. And so we've got a beautiful rescue, and she is a Maltese mix, and she is beautiful, and we're actually in the process of adopting another dog at the moment. So and this is a little puppy that we are at the moment going through some channels, and actually Ibu Helen from grade 2 asked me to document it so that she can have it, also share it with the class, and teach her children how to, when you find a dog, what do you do? Do you rescue? Do you foster? Because there's so many street dogs here, and you do see a lot of pets and animals in need, and we all have that urge to take them on, but sometimes it might not be the best for the animal either. So these are very long-term decisions, but there are lots of services, lots of people who want to help. So it's quite interesting to get into that kind of network and meeting people who taking on dogs and supporting other families to foster and so on.
Yeah, so true. Okay, good. Well, up to date on the pets, on the dogs. Something to think about there, I think, friends, if you're potentially leaving a puppy behind. So next question, just about what do green school parents do for a living while they're here, and is it possible to actually get work here in Bali? How easy is that? What are the options or possibilities? I think trying to answer a question about what Green School Bali parents do for a living is we could probably have a whole nother virtual event on that and spend an hour going through just some of the backgrounds our parents have. This is a really interesting parent community. In my opinion, we have, like, I'm sure, like every profession you can think about, we have a lot of artists, creative people, entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are able to work remotely. And we have our own co-working space here for parents right here on the campus. So a really diverse, mixed background, I think, in terms of what our parents do for a living. Working in Bali can be tricky. You actually need a work permit to legally work here, perform work here in Bali. So the idea that I'll move there and then I'll get a job in Bali is probably not super realistic. Good thing to do some homework on before you come here. But Magnus, you taking a little bit of a break from your career. You want to share a little bit about that and anything you've learned about what other parents are up to who've arrived here at the school?
Well, I can always speak for myself and my wife, but we took the decision that we wanted to pursue this journey 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it was before the call or whatever, but we making the decision of going to green school was the easy one. And then everything around it, like lining up to getting here, was more complicated one. And we definitely went through how are we going to work remotely? Can I work here? I work in film and commercials. So I'm like, could I set something up here? I spoke a lot with the visa guys from you guys' school, setting up a company, or should I work remote? Should I work at night so I can work with... And we went through all of that. And I think the decision me and my wife took was, we actually want to not do anything and kind of use this, because we made a 1-year commitment, but also use it to investment in our family, to have a chance to do things differently here or when we get back home. So the decision for us was to not to work. And I really stand by that decision. But if you have a job or a company where you think that's possible, go for it. But be prepared for whatever you're going through. You will be healed some way of another. If you're going to continue working with that or figure out something new, you will be inspired to do that. I can almost guarantee that, because it is an island where ideas and inspiration floats around, even from other parents and the community and the school. So you do your research of if you can do remote, or you can have the possibility to do nothing for a little bit of time. I could highly recommend that, because I think it's healthy to give yourself a break, because you deserve that. You had some kids and you worked hard to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's so nice, and I love that for you. I think this is great, and I just feel really fortunate that you chose Green School to have that family experience together, and being a part of our community here, and getting to know parents over the years that have taken a year out, or even 2 years out sometimes if they can. But often then thinking we would actually like to stay longer, and then getting quite creative about finding a solution to make that work. So, we do have some families where one parent maybe is going back home or wherever to do some work, and back in Bali, and, different arrangements. But it is surprising how creative we can get when we put our mind to it about making this work. But we also know it's not always a long-term kind of option for people. It's more about coming and having this experience for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then going. Some families that just say, we're coming for middle school, grade 6, 7, and 8, and then go. But we also have families, some of my favorite families, who maybe are here when their children are younger, and then Christina gets an email or a call several years down the track saying we're coming back for high school. So they may have gone back home for several years, regrouped, set themselves up again, and come back for another experience and to graduate from Green School. And we love that. We love a repeat offender, so to speak.
Nice.
All right. So I think that's about bringing us to the end of our questions. I think Christina has a few things to add on to the end here, but I do want to take a minute actually to thank our production team, who are the other side of the cameras here, who do such a brilliant job of making us look and sound the best we possibly can. So thank you so much, team. And thank you, everybody that joined us today on the call. We have a second session, what is later in the day for us, and we're looking forward to round 2. You can join that if you haven't had enough of us. But thank you so much for joining us today. Magnus, thank you so much for being 4 weeks into the Green School community and already being happy to come along and share so openly your insights and experiences so far. I'm sure it's very meaningful for people out there. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And Christina too, I will hand over to you to sort of round us out for this session today. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody out there, for joining us. Over to you, Christina.
Okay, thank you, Kate. So as Kate mentioned before, this is really just the start of the conversation, start of the journey. So we've got a couple of things on the screen, what you can do from here, where you can connect, how you can connect with us. So you can have a look at our website, and do stay tuned. We have really exciting on-campus open events planned for this year ahead. So we always have our 2 big open days. These are run twice a year, but we're also in the midst of planning some smaller open days on campus, specific for different learning neighborhoods as well. So if you're looking for middle school, if you're looking for high school intake, do stay tuned, and we'll make sure that we'll organize the events for you and share the dates for this upcoming year very soon with you. You can also, if you're coming to Bali, if you're planning a visit, you can book a individual tour with us. We do big tours a few times a week as well, but you can also book you in for a one-to-one admissions visit. So we always love to meet the families in person. So please, if you're coming, and then at the same time, we can also help you book into the Green Camp, which we haven't really gone into, but those are fantastic opportunities for the kids to also see what the experience at Green School is like. So book a tour with us, go and have a look at the Green Camp. And then you can also go onto our website and do a virtual tour. So that's really clever, where you can go through the campus and see all the different buildings, different classrooms, and it takes you through the campus as well. And then if you use the QR code there on the right, you can also book a call with me directly. So same as Magnus and Stina did a few years ago. So you can do a Zoom call with myself or the team directly, and then we can answer all your questions that you may have, and walk you through the application process. Okay. Thank you so much for all your time today, and we hope to see you all soon in person.